Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Diecast Garage. Today, we're going to be reviewing the E-ZTEC North Pole Express 1225 that you can buy for about $25. Very affordable set for any beginner wanting to get into the hobby or a good Christmas gift for a 5-year-old. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into the review. Included in the box is the locomotive, the tender, 2 passenger coaches, a couple of signs, and some electrical poles with the electrical pole bases. So let's go ahead. Let's review the locomotive. Oh, and also it includes 11 feet of track. So let's go ahead and let's review the locomotive. Okay, so taking a look at the locomotive itself, it's very back heavy. The back where the cab is, it's very heavy. Reason for that is this thing requires 2 D-style batteries. You can only use D-style batteries with this locomotive because unfortunately E-ZTEC didn't include an option for you to use rechargeable batteries with this locomotive, which I think is a flaw on their part because that would have been a great option to have with this locomotive. But yet again, also think you're giving this to a 5-year-old. They're only going to have it out around Christmas time, or you're going to have it under your Christmas tree around Christmas time. You just take the batteries out and save them for next year. At least that's what we do in my house. So also looking at it, it's got 6 wheels and 2 main drivers that are connected to the plastic rod, which is then connected to the motor inside the locomotive, which drives the train down the track. It's also, you notice that these it's got these treads on there. Also, the track has treads, so that's just for traction. That's not an error on your train. It also just says North Pole Express 1225. Quiet mention of the Pier Marquette up in Owasso, Michigan. It also features an LED light on the front of the locomotive, a small cow catcher, and a lot of details like molded in rivets, and also some details also molded into the casting as well, which also on the back includes a little swinging part right here, which you use that piece to connect the locomotive and the tender kit together, but we will see that later on in the video once we run it on the layouts. So now we're going to take a look at the tender. So here's the tender. Pretty bare bones. I'm going to say this is a bare bones set for $25. You got to expect that. But it features a coal load place for you to put water in, but that's just for, obviously this thing does not have water in it. It's powered by electricity. It's also got a nice little ladder detail on there. It says North Pole Express. It's got 2 wheels on there, but it looks like it's got 2 trucks with 4 wheels, but it's just got 4 wheels on there and 2 wheels per truck. And it's got that little hoop right there, which that little hook on the locomotive that we saw earlier, that's where that hook goes. And that's just pretty much it about the. Oh, and also it features this very nice knuckle coupler right here on the back, which I thought is a very nice touch for this bare bones set. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the 2 passenger coaches right here. So these passenger coaches right here are pretty bare bones, just like the rest of the whole set. Features 8 wheels per car, so that's 4 wheels per little truck here. Features knuckle couplers, North Pole Express, comes in a brown, white roof, white windows, and stuff. And these are the passenger cars, but oddly enough, none of these windows in either of these cars on either side include any figurines. But then again, once again, it's going back to that fact of this being a bare bones set. So cannot complain too much for $25. So that's the cars. So now we're going to take a look at the track. And we're going to be talking about that they say, E-ZTEC says that this is a G-scale set. I beg to differ. I really beg to differ. It is so much of a lie. And you'll see how bad of a lie that they pulled with this, calling us a G-scale set. Okay, so this train obviously includes plastic track, which doesn't conduct electricity, just like the Lionel Polar Express. Um, but this is not true G-scale. It's not. That's true G-scale track. You can almost fit this track right over top of that track, and the rails will fit in between these right here. Now, note that the Polar Express Lionel G-scale, that locomotive is not true G-scale at all. Neither is this set, but the track for the Lionel Polar Express, which is what this piece of track is from. This track is true. This track right here is true G-scale. Obviously, this is not. This is not true G-scale, but that just bothers me because E-ZTEC says it's a G-scale set when it's really not. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull the Polar Express from under the Christmas tree, and I want to show you the size comparison between that Lionel bigger G scale and the E-ZTEC G scale. So here is the North Pole Express locomotive here. This may look good on its own, you know, you think it's such a great model. Well, we want to zoom out the camera just a little bit for this. The funny thing is, neither of these trains are true G scale. Actually, the bigger one is closer to true G scale, but it's still about a half an inch shorter than true G scale. That train is just short and step. This one is. So is that one. But I say that this train is closer to G scale than that one. That one, I consider it to be O gauge. Now, some of you may disagree with me and say, well, there's no way it's O gauge because E-ZTEC says it's G scale. Well, E-ZTEC, obviously, they got that little detail wrong, as we can see, between the track size and the locomotive size. But then again, this is $100. That's $25. Yeah. But then again, for a budget set, it's not that big a deal, but it's just the fact that E-ZTEC lied to us and told us that it was G scale when it's really O scale. All right, so anyways, we're gonna get this train on to track. This one, we're just gonna see what a noisemaker it is. And also, the weird thing about this budget set is it does not include a remote control. The switch to run the train, the whole locomotive, is right under here, and you flip that right there. And you can hear how much of a noisemaker it is. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and put this train on the track, and we're going to see how it runs. Okay, so now I've got the locomotive on the track. Now we're going to watch it run, and let's see how much of a noisemaker this thing is. And my parents are probably going to hate me for this, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're doing a review of a $25 train. So we're gonna go ahead, take the switch, which is over here on the other side, flip it, there it goes. Now note, I did have to put down a couple pieces of cardboard and a book down there because this surface isn't completely level, but it'll work for the time being so you all can just at least see the train in action. So in conclusion, guys, this budget train is actually not that bad. It does include a LED light, which I do like that it includes that. But having it around the house is just nice to have. Just have it sitting under the Christmas tree, not in motion, because this thing is very noisy. You don't hear it on camera probably as much because we got a nice microphone that doesn't pick up the loud noises, but it's very loud. Just you're gonna have to take my word for it. But for $25, it's not bad. But I have to say, if you want to get a good train that is running on you can run under the Christmas tree, and you don't want to invest hundreds and hundreds of dollars, just spend the $100 to buy the Lionel G Scale Polar Express. Trust me when I say you get sound, you get a remote control so you can control the speed, higher quality track, and a little closer to G Scale than this. But anyway, guys, in conclusion, this train, $25, not bad. Detail wise, it's great. Um, but good gift for a 5-year-old or a kid that wants to get into model trains, and a good way to introduce them to this unique hobby. But anywho, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and Merry Christmas and have a great day.